All right, if I say anything, can you hear it? Okay, now I can't hear you, so why don't you hop in Discord? Now, my hunch is I would need to mute myself in Discord or you'd hear it two different places. Okay. Okay, I see that you've entered Discord, but I can't hear
Okay,
you.
that works too. You muted yourself, right? That's fine.
Yes, I did.
Do
Okay,
you hear me?
I hear you just fine. All right, and you see the long dark screen coming up.
There's a little bit of delay. That's what you are.
Okay. I wonder how you control delay.
I sure do.
Okay, so it's just long dark is just now coming up. If you don't answer, it's really hard.
I
Okay,
would say
are
it's
you going to
about
answer
10 to
anything?
20 seconds delay.
20 seconds delay? That's a long time. Do you hear the game music? Answer would be helpful.
Yes, the game music is much louder than you are.
Well, the game music is quite loud at that point. Let's just go into game here and then tell me how game volume compared to my voice is. Tell me when you see activity in game.
The game is still. I see activity right now, and also you are much more quiet in the game. Like your steps and everything is way louder than you are. Like I would say, you need to turn yourself up at least 50% more.
Okay, I'm not sure that I can do that. It looks like the game is coming on desktop audio, so I can turn that down. And then we can see if the balance is any better. And then I don't know how I can turn everything up, but okay, so at this point I've adjusted volumes. And I'm just walking around.
better.
Okay. Is it good or just better?
If you want to tweak it slightly, I would still turn the game down slightly more so I can raise the volume on my end. That way I will hear you better, but also
Okay. That's down a little bit more.
just better.
Just keep me posted on how that is. Okay, well, so this, I mean, so do things seem to, so are you terrible Timberwolf or something? Okay, it would really help if you'd answer rather than have a delay on your own. But I guess that's not possible. So is there some reason you're not able to talk?
I don't know if you can see the chat or not. And I'm answering you as fast as I possibly can. I think there's right now. I think it's 30 seconds
Okay.
delay.
So that because I'm not speaking to you on Discord, there is a delay. I got it. All right. Well, I would love to get rid of all or most of that delay, but I don't have any idea how to do that.
Yes.
So I can see that kind of a delay.
I have an idea for you, but I think the video will be better for you because you see what's happening. I will just have to understand that the video is 30 seconds behind and I will hear you but mute the game. YouTube.
I didn't catch that. Oh, this is not good.
All right, let's say this again then. If you unmute yourself on Discord, then we're live. Like there's no delay, right? But I would have to understand that what you are talking about inside of the game instead would be 30 seconds later for me. So you would be ahead of the game what you're talking about, and I will just see it later. You know what I mean?
Can you investigate the delay? Because that's what the heart of the problem is this delay. I would like to make it as short as possible, and I don't know if we have any real control over that. But
I will investigate. Okay, to reduce the delay when streaming YouTube to Discord, lower the stream settings to 720 and 30 frames per second, and adjust your Discord advanced options. I will copy and paste it into you on Steam.
okay. And I'll pause the game and see what I can figure out. Hmm. Okay.
Okay. I will turn down. I will not hear the game like you walking because I'm turning all the sound down on you.
Okay.
But that's okay. Oh, okay. That's I sent you a link to something, and also the last is how you do when you are streaming on YouTube live broadcast and you're using Discord voice. No, but it's just a Discord voice chat. It's not, yeah, just look into it. You'll understand. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. Watch that video. Will do. Aha. I see a white dot and the house on the up in the left-hand corner with a Y. And as soon as you start moving or doing something, I will let you know. I say, yep, there we go. You open up your inventory. Okay, I will let you know. Now.
Both ends.
Yep. Yes. But you know, what we might do is I just watch you on YouTube and not ask questions. I can type question. Can you see the chat at all? Okay. All right. Then try to just think that I'm around and what questions I might ask and just talk about the game. Because if you just do talk about what you're doing, it's going to make sense for the people watching at the right time. Yeah. Me too. Let's go. I'll race you. I think I won. won. I told you I was going to race you. Sure you did. Yes. I mean, I'm just going to drop out of Discord because I won't be able to communicate with you anyways, and I can just send messages to you on Steam. Oh, I could if you wanted me to, but it's going to be caught up into your live. And I'm going to be like 30 seconds, 10 to 30 seconds delayed. Okay, then I'll stay here. Okay, then.
All right. So, unfortunately, this is a different run than I was playing before because my previous run came to an end. All right, so what do we want to do? It is just morning now, and the weather doesn't seem very nice. So I'm in Pleasant Valley, which has got some of the most horrific storms in the game. Let's grab some curtains. Curtains are generally your best option for cloth. A lot of people bother breaking down clothing for cloth, but it's not very efficient. So since we've got bad weather, we're gonna do a few repairs here. Now, by hitting this little button here next to the A to Z, it sorts by condition, and I can sort it worst to best or best to worst.
How do you know what cloth is better, like it's worth saving or not?
Well, cloth is cloth, so no cloth is better. But if you're asking whether clothing is worth saving, for the most part, if you're not wearing it, it's not really worth saving. However, you might want a backup of something in case it gets wrecked by, um, you know, wolf attack or something like that. So it would need to be a decent piece in order to save it. Otherwise, just discard it. Let's see, we need to eat. I'm getting low on food here, but I've got 23 cattails, and if you haven't discovered cattails, they're one of the best food sources in the game because they never go bad. So so we are on like day, let's see, how do I do this? We're on our 4th day of this playthrough, and I'm just collecting hides and such to make rabbit and deer gear. Okay, it seems like the weather's gotten better, so maybe we can go out.
Why are you saving the rabbit stuff and deer stuff? And also, are you using any mods?
I am not using any mods at all. The You can make deerskin boots and pants. And rabbit hat and gloves. So that's what we're saving that for. Okay. Now, I'm trying to get some gear together, and I'd like to find a bedroll. And there's a spot over here that can have a bedroll. I don't know if it will this time. See some crows over there, so something's dead up there. Right up there.
What difficulty are you on?
I'm on a custom difficulty. It's based on Interloper. I'd never play vanilla Interloper for several reasons. You know, I started playing the game back in 1912 or something like that, and it was more difficult. Interloper was very difficult when it first came out, but it's gotten easier and easier and easier over time. And then they made some design choices that I don't agree with, and one of them would be cabin fever. I don't know if you've heard talk of cabin fever. In the early days of the game, you know, there were achievements that you could get on Steam, and a couple of the achievements were, you know, survive 100 days or survive 500 days. And one of the things that people started doing, because the game allowed it, was what was called hibernating. You could hole up in a house with a bunch of food, and, well, that doesn't look like a bedroll to me. You could hold up in a house with a bunch of food and just eat, sleep, and live forever, basically. And so people would get these achievements. Well, one of the things that they added to keep that from happening was an affliction called cabin fever. Now, this was one of the dumbest things they ever did. If you spend too much time indoors, in some formula that's hidden from you and you can't see it all, then you get cabin fever and you cannot sleep indoors. So it forces you to have to go out. Now, that's just stupid. So you have this affliction that makes you do absolutely stupid shit. It's the middle of a blizzard, and you have to wander outside into the blizzard. It makes no sense. Now, one of the things that they added at the same time made complete sense. And it's what they call rest as a resource. now you can override this in a custom setting. But when you're not tired anymore, you wake up. So that change by itself got rid of the hibernation that people were doing. If so, we were talking yesterday about the tiredness meter. Well, when your tiredness meter is filled back up, you wake up and you can't sleep anymore. That was the only change they needed to make to keep people from abusing the hibernation idea. But so the cabin fever thing, I just won't play with, and then there's other things that I don't play with, but that's probably the biggest one. Somewhere over here, there's a shed that could have a deer in it, and I'd like to find that, but I'm a little off the beaten trail.
So cabin fever thing is automatically in the game, or is it removed, or you just removed it?
It's automatically in the game. However, if you use custom settings, you can turn it off. And that, so yeah, whenever I play it, I'm always on custom settings, and there's some things I turn off and on. Now, in this particular game, oh man, I don't know if I have enough firewood. In this particular game, so I had started a playthrough just, several days ago, and unfortunately it came to an end earlier today. I was trying not to burn a torch, and should have, and gotten eaten by a wolf. Which was unfortunate, because that playthrough was a really fun one, because it was such a struggle for quite a while, and I was just finally getting I don't have a torch, do I? I do. It had been such a struggle, and I was just getting to where I was getting my feet on the ground and doing quite well. And it was a struggle because I hadn't played in years, and it's like it took a while to find some matches, and when I found them, I burned them all up because I was hitting the wrong keys all the time. Just silly shit. But that's the way it is sometimes. So, and then I couldn't find a hacksaw, and just a lot of things made it a real struggle at the start. And I was just really getting on my feet and starting to do quite well. And I shouldn't have risked it. So this is frozen. I don't have any tools or weapons or anything. Oh, I'm going to need to eat, or I'm going to lose that well fed. So all I have to harvest this thing with is bare hands, and it's not, and I got to get it thawed 50% in order to be able to do that. I'm going to go look for a few sticks while we're waiting. I wouldn't be shocked if we get a wolf coming around here. And I'm pretty defenseless from a wolf at this point, because I don't have any weapons. I don't have anything. I don't even have a flare to use or anything. I don't want to wander too far and walk into a wolf. Okay, so if I press F, I'm going to see a feels like temperature. So I'm warm. You can see that I'm warming up at the lower left. I'd like to warm up a little quicker, but and you know what? I am going to need the fuel. So each stick adds 1 degree to the temperature of the fire. And different woods, well, maybe they've changed it from 1 degree, or maybe it just got 2 degrees colder. But each wood type adds different amounts of heat to a fire. You know what I could do? Might as well do both of them if I'm going to do one. That's going to take a little bit longer than this is to thaw to 50%. So the main thing early on is that I want to get deer and rabbit clothes made as quick as possible, because they're basically some of the best gear on Interloper that's available. Did I fumble my fingers? No, we're good. We're going to take the meat first and cook it. Now, when you've got meat or guts on you, you put off stink that attracts animals. We've got 26 minutes and 40. How long's my fire? Yeah, that's a problem. That's getting marginal. And because I don't want to be carrying stink, I'm going to put that on the ground. It's getting foggy. That's not a good thing. That could mean it'll be hard for me to find my way home. Do I still have 40 minutes of fire? Yeah, I do.
Now I know what you mean with the cooking thing, that there's 2 plates.
Now, I'd like to get this guy's guts, but I'm not sure I want to spend another hour and 20 doing it. I'm not liking this weather. So this could turn out badly because I can't see where I'm going. Hopefully I've picked a good direction, but no, I don't know whether I have or not. Okay, I like this. It's a bit of a trail. I think this is telling me where I am. Yeah, I know where I am. All right. Now, that comes down to map knowledge. If you don't know the map, you know, you're kind of hosed there. There's not much you can do. Um, all right, let's see. All right, I would like to go. It's not travel weather, so I'm not really going anywhere, but I'd like to get some more sticks picked up. And there's probably a rabbit out here I could get. I'm gonna open a drink here. Things to become aware of as you play are things like power poles. Where are there power poles? Um, those can be good references. Looking for a bunny. Hopefully tomorrow we get some travel weather. Because there's a couple of places I'm going to want to try to go to. Particularly on interloper-like settings, early in the game you don't want to just try to set down routes because there's not enough resources around. You need to get out and travel the world. Well, I thought there might be another bunny out here, but I guess he's not here. So I've already been out here, checked out that barn and whatnot. That's why I'm ignoring it now. Okay. So the sun and that moon help you understand the daytime situation. If you notice, the sun has two horizontal spikes there. When that hits the horizon, there will be 2 hours of daylight left. When the tip of the sun goes below the horizon, there is no daylight left. The game has 14 hours of daylight and 10 hours of darkness. And if you remember when we talked about well, maybe we didn't talk about this the other day, but at one point I had said that my goal is always to have, at the end of every day, be ready to sleep for 10 hours. So I want, because 10 hours is ideal in interloper settings. That's the ideal for condition recovery. Now, different um, different levels have different rules. So in interloper, well, if you remember, I said that you regain condition while sleeping as long as none of your meters are empty. On interloper settings, your thirst will drain and it will take 10 hours for it to drain. So if you try to sleep 11 hours, well, that last hour you're actually losing health, not gaining it. Let's do a little bit of research here. Let's see if we can squeeze one more hour in. You can't do that in the dark, so okay. And we had talked about the eyeball being a 12-hour clock, and so I can't sleep 10 hours. I can sleep, a little over 9. And the sun went away. In 10 hours, it's going to have its horizontal points will hit the horizon, and that's when the day starts. That's when daylight starts. Let's see if we can find the bed. So I'm going to sleep just slightly less than 10 hours. My water, which wasn't 100% full, is basically going to be almost empty. So I didn't quite get 9 hours of sleep, and you can see that the sun is just getting to where the horizontal points are on the horizon. And if I try to do something that requires light, let's say, well, I don't really want to do any repairs. Well, this wouldn't be bad to repair. You can't repair while in the dark. But we can see that daylight is almost here. Let's have a drink. I don't hear any wind, so hopefully it's a good day.
But if you turn a flashlight on, if you want to repair in the dark, can you do that? Or
The
have some light?
flashlight doesn't work. It doesn't work in the dark. The flashlight works when there's an aurora. There are lanterns and whatnot, but generally what you'll see is, well, I guess on lower levels, um, there can be quite a bit of fuel, but on the tougher levels, the fuel is kind of rare, and you're not gonna have an abundance of it. So you would rarely use that for um, doing something like this. Um, there we go. I failed. Not good. Oh no. Oh shit. I don't know how much cloth I have left, but this is certainly a big waste of time. Okay, but that's up to 89% condition now, which is pretty good. I do need to get rid of a couple of things here. Well, we can definitely see now. But I don't have a lantern yet, so I can't do stuff like that. Oh, these are probably better than what I have on. I'm going to press C to bring up clothing. 0.3, 0.2, 0.5, 0.5. They're not a lot better, but they are better if they were both repaired. Okay. I'm down to cattails for food. Do I want to take both of those with me? No. I don't need this. I don't have a weapon. So yeah, I did. This is interloper with guns. I don't remember if I completed saying that, but that's something I was starting to say. Okay. And notice there, we had talked about the backpack. Notice there's a +5, which is giving me a carrying capacity of 35. So there's a well-fed bonus. If your hunger meter doesn't run out for 3 days straight, you get a well-fed bonus, which adds 5 to your carry weight and adds 5 hit points. So a lot of people, particularly when Interloper came out, had a hard time feeding themselves. So what they would do, see how cold is it? 2 arrows down. Man, it's kind of cold. So what they would do is starve during the day, lose 14 points of condition, and then make it up at night, and that would be just their strategy for not needing as much food. This was then a good change that Hinterland added by not trying to penalize you for that, but encouraging you not to do that by giving you a bonus if you didn't. So it's much better to have the well-fed bonus, 5 more carry capacity and 5 more HP than to starve. However, sometimes early in the game you might have to starve a little bit during the day. In my last playthrough, I had to do that for quite some time. It was just an awkward playthrough getting started without a hacksaw, without any weapons, no knife, no hatchet, and so I couldn't hunt. One of the things that they've added to this game, which I think is dumb, is a ravaged carcass you can harvest, but if you kill an animal and don't have a pointy object to puncture its hide with, oh, you can't harvest it. So you can get caught in this spot where you don't have what you need in order to start hunting. And now you just gotta hope to find it or create it somehow. Otherwise, you're just gonna starve. Okay, so we're gonna visit a place over here. This can get a slight bit wolfy. There could be a wolf off to our left. Now, they've changed a lot of the animal spawn since I used to play, so I don't necessarily know exactly where all the animal spawns are, but they haven't changed that much. So it's not like everything's different. Okay, so you've got the head that you can eat, and then I guess it's the tail that can be tender. And so cat tails are pretty good for that sort of thing. Now, I've got plenty of tinder, so I was letting the tinder parts drop. We have a deer here. We're going to want to take that, but I don't know that now's the time. It's probably a good time to do it, but I don't have as much fuel as I would like to have to start that. I would imagine the weather's going to hold, and from that standpoint, it's probably a good time to do it. But we'll get him sooner or later. Now there could be some bunnies up here. Used to be. I don't know if they're still here. To make the bunny gear, you need 7 hide total for both the hat and the gloves, and I think 3 gut. I don't see any bunnies around. Okay. I would pick those, but I'm cold, so I should get in and stop the bleeding. Don't expect to find much here. Now, if you were playing on Pilgrim, you're going to get a bunch of stuff here, but that's a big difference between modes. The tougher the mode, the less stuff you're going to find. Okay, so it's getting to be late morning. I'm going to sleep an hour just to get my energy up. And now you can see that my energy is pretty strong for the time of the day. And that means I can do do a good bit of running if I need to or want to. Well, hello, bunnies. How are you? Whoop. Sailed it over him. Oof. Oh my goodness. Ah, that bugger changed direction on me again. Okay, and anytime you've got dead animal on you, you put off a stink, and so we just dropped that guy. Actually, I should have grabbed this before I picked those bunnies back up. Oh, come on. So the bunnies are both food, but the main thing is I want their hide and gut. I don't want to get hungry here. There's a good chance we're going to stay the night here. Okay, now there's a little symbol at the top of the screen there. That shows that you're blocked from the wind when you have that. Oh, I could have used a mag lens. But the torch will be a little quicker. In a pot, things cook a little bit quicker. That is our biggest one. That's our smallest piece. That's going to take 7 minutes. Beautiful day. Would have been a day to do some more traveling than what we're doing. So we've kind of wasted a nice day for just getting a couple rabbits, but the rabbits will keep us warm later. Minutes. Okay, I have, well, let's check fire time. Yeah, that's good. We're going to take a hide. Let's see, I've got, yeah, we can do that. All right. So if we look at what that means, carcass harvesting, 10% reduction in meat harvesting times. So that's progress. Later on in the game, you don't need to mess with rabbits so much. They don't give a lot of food. They give just enough for the effort that you put in, but it's right now we're just doing it for the hide and gut, and I shouldn't be carrying those around. The hide doesn't make you stink, but guts do. All right. About 2 hours of daylight left. Not much else to do out around here.
But there is no way you can like clean yourself or shower or something like that, right?
Shower? No. That's just not something you need to do in this game. You probably just stink like hell. And you stink the whole game long. Okay. Just breaking that down for wood. 1 reclaimed in 15 minutes. I think I'm going to break down a little bit more. Oh, these require a hatchet. Bummer. How about you? You do too. Okay, well, because we were sitting around so much, we're not really very tired for the time of day, and we did take that nap before we found the rabbits, and so it is what it is. I'm going to take a little bit more cloth, I guess. Now, I'm not going to carry those gut with me when I leave here. I'm just going to make a note that it's here. And this is, oh, how do you, there you go. This place is called, it doesn't seem to be called that anymore, but it used to be called Draft Dodgers Cabin. Yeah, if you don't mark it down, you'll tend to forget it. Well, let's do a little bit more research. So I've done 3 of 5 hours in that book, and what it's showing here is when we finish this, it's going to fill in the rest of this cooking level 1, so we'll be at cooking level 2, which will be nice. So you can see how, because of my tiredness, I'm not able to carry 35 anymore. This just starts going down. I'm not that tired though. But because of that, the first thing I'm going to do is pass time. I'm going to do about 2 hours. So, okay, so one of the things about condition recovery now on Pilgrim, it really doesn't matter. You gain regain condition so mad fast, nothing really matters. On Voyager, same, and Stalker, not as much, but still. But on Interloper, the best you can do is regain 32 condition in a night if you do everything right. Um, but here's the deal about condition recovery. Um, Let me say this in a fashion that makes sense. Every additional consecutive hour slept, you regain more condition than the previous hour slept. Hopefully that makes sense. So if I sleep 1 hour, I would actually gain less condition than if I was awake for 1 hour. But if I sleep 2 hours, that second hour, I'm going to gain more condition than I did previously. The, the second hour is going to gain more condition than the first hour did. Then if you sleep a third hour consecutively, that hour you gain more condition than you gained on the second hour or the first hour that you slept. So you want to sleep for as long as possible. We're starting to run low on food, so I better do something or we're going to be losing well fed. So then on Interloper, the longest you can sleep before you become thirsty and stop regaining condition is 10 hours. So the ideal is a 10-hour sleep on Interloper. Not so critical on the lower levels. Okay, the sun is almost up. Yeah, we need to get more food going here. I think we may go try to get that one deer that we passed. The thing is, a ravaged deer doesn't give you that much meat. It'll generally be, you know, around 1.5 kilograms, um, which is more than, it's basically about what you need to survive in a day. So you're not really getting ahead. You've got to keep finding other food sources. But certainly 2 bunny rabbits is no more than treading water. Okay. Ooh, not looking like a nice morning. We may have to hole up here for a while. Anything we need to repair? I don't have what that takes. That takes cured leather.
So what do you do? So what do you do when there's bad weather? You're just staying indoors and just making more food and craft, or what do you do?
Well, you just look for things um, that you can do, and sometimes that's not easy. So here, my first reaction is: are there any clothing I need to repair? Well, I got this up to 95%. Most everything's pretty high, and I'm kind of wasting resources in order to do anything with it. And this takes cured leather, which I don't have. Um, and so then I might also do some more reading. Um, and that we will probably do. Okay, it may have gotten nice outside. Well, it may have gotten better anyway. You can kind of hear the weather. Oh, this does not look good. But I think we're going to go. This stuff's staying. I'm really good on weight, so I've got more water than I need, but I might as well carry it with me since I'm not at all heavy. Now this can be a tricky little bit up here because I want to go up here and a wolf could possibly be within range to spot me. And a wolf situation right now might be fatal. Okay, we should be good. Now we're going to a location that didn't used to exist in the game. It was added for story mode, and it's just one of those things that makes the game easier. Now, can I get over here? Dude, you should have stuff for me. Another thing that was added, and it's in this area, I don't know exactly where it is a underground cache. I doubt there's much in it. What? Wait. This doesn't look right. I can't get up that, so... Okay, I was on the right track there for a while, but I've screwed up. Okay, we're gonna go back a ways. Well, okay. Okay, I see what I'm supposed to do here. So we've gotten cold. Those branches are rarely worth harvesting. They'll take 10 minutes and you get 3 sticks out of it. But that's just not enough. Now there's some times where it makes sense, but in general, you don't want to be picking those up and harvesting them. Now I think there's a little bed here. I don't have a bedroll yet, so I can't just sleep anywhere. You've got to sleep in a bed. Okay, are we warm in the back here? Probably not. No, so we do need a fire. Now, I think on Pilgrim or Voyager, if you just have a fire, you will be warm. But here, you need the fire to be putting off enough heat to overcome the temperature. So if I go here, it's -3 degrees is what it feels like. So I'm going to have to add some fuel to warm it up and also to give it a decent duration. Now, I'm going to sleep an hour. That'll help me warm up quicker because the bed actually has some warming value. I should show that. If I click on it, bed warmth bonus is 2 degrees. A typical bed has more than that. Like a typical bed in a house is going to have 5 degrees. I'm going to add that. That adds an hour and a half of fire, I believe. Now, I don't know if it's still true, but there always used to be a deer here. But I've got to thaw him out. How unfortunate. I probably should have just made the one fire right there, but I wasn't thinking. And we're gonna get a storm, so if I make a fire here, it's gonna blow out. So I tell you what, let's do. Yeah. So this is a plane crash that was added for story mode. And there's a lot of potential stuff to find around here. Hopefully I'm not getting lost. Okay. We're gonna make up some teas and things. Man, I got a lot of mushrooms. We'll get a few calories from them. And they can also give us a warmth bonus if we drink them when they're hot. That's not what I want. Now, there's something interesting about fires. It says 7 minutes until ready, and that says an hour and 11 left. So that would make you think that at an hour and 4 minutes.
How long does the storms usually last?
How long the storms last, that can vary wildly. Here in this is a zone called Pleasant Valley. It has a reputation for having long storms. So it could last over 24 hours. But I would say in general, half a day is probably pretty typical. So I wouldn't be surprised if just as evening is coming on, we get some nice weather. But at the same time, if that doesn't happen, I could be in in the process of dying right now. You know, if it doesn't break, I've got a limited amount of food, and you know, I could be getting in trouble. And I've only got so much firewood. But as you can see, that I'm generally always picking up a little bit of, picking up sticks, picking up a little bit of reclaimed wood, so you kind of want to keep your wood supply up. And so I got 21 sticks, 1 reclaimed wood, 1 cedar, 1 fir. That's a decent amount of fire, but it won't get me 12 hours. I'm going to bet that we're going to be here for 2 hours. So that's 2 hours to do that. Okay, and so one thing I wanted to show is fire is a little bit funky. It says 58 minutes till melted, and that says 1 hour. So that would make you think that when this is melted, there's going to be 2 minutes left on the fire. Well, that's not going to be the case. There's a tool tip that you may notice at some point as you go to loading screens that says something like wood burns slower in colder temperatures. So a mechanic built into the game makes fires last longer and longer the colder it is, up to a point. So now there's a 4-minute difference, not a 2-minute difference. And if I come over here and get away from that fire, air temperature is minus 21. So the ambient air temperature matters. When it gets to 10 below 0, fires start lasting longer than the time written on the fire. And they'll get longer and longer all the way to 30 below 0, at which time the fire lasts twice as long as what it says on the fire itself. So notice now we're 6 minutes difference. So some people call that the outdoor burn bonus, but that's a misnomer because it has nothing to do whether the fire is indoors or outdoors. But it's a burn bonus. It's a cold temperature burn bonus, basically.
But I don't understand why would the fire bonus? Okay, got it.
I couldn't quite understand that. You know, I'm living in a storm here. Why would the fire what?
I was asking about I was asking about why there would be that the fire would last longer when it's colder. Like I would think it would last shorter because wind and it's really cold. But I guess it's considered a bonus to make it
Yeah,
easier in the game. I guess.
actually, if we're not in a game, the colder it is, the longer a fire burns, and that's just the way it is. But it's also going to put off less heat while doing that. Um, Now, the drier the wood, the less true that is. Um, but wood does burn slower the colder it gets. And notice that it's an 8-minute difference or a 9-minute difference, 8 minutes. So you can see that this is burning slower than advertised. Now I'm going to need to put some more fuel on. Yeah, it's getting late in the day. Hopefully I don't end up having to stay here all night. I thought I just put some sticks on there. Yeah, I put 24 minutes of sticks on there is what I did. And that wasn't enough. I need to get that deer, but I don't know that I got firewood to thaw it. Well, I could let this one go out and then just be prepared to relight it, I suppose. Uh, I'm going to be back in about 60 seconds. Okay, back. Now, one thing about the long dark that hopefully you haven't discovered the hard way is the fire will burn you. So, like in subsistence, your campfire can't hurt you at all. Here, it will definitely hurt you, and it can hurt you bad. Um, yeah, people have lost runs stumbling into the fire.
This storm seems to be lasting forever.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got about 6 hours left in the day. There's a good chance that I'm going to end up staying here tonight, even if the storm breaks. But I want to get that deer, and there could also be some food around that plane crash site, but there won't be a lot. Now on Pilgrim, there'd be a week's worth of food there at the plane crash. I'd love it if that storm would break before I feed any more fuel into this fire. But it doesn't look likely. Riveting gameplay. But it's part of the game in that you know, I could be in the process of dying here and just not know it yet. So that's that's the thing. We've only got so much fuel, and that storm could go on another day, and then I would have to try to find my way out of here in a blinding snowstorm. And the significance of not having a bedroll is that I can't just sleep anywhere. So not only would I'd have to find a place where there is an actual bed. There's a place that's not far from here called Skeeter's Ridge, which is a good place to try to go to. It can be a little wolfy around there, but there's no bed. So I could undoubtedly find that in this snowstorm, but it doesn't solve my problem. Yeah, I'm getting to where I need that storm to stop, or we're going to be running out of fuel. There's 4 hours of daylight left. Just a little over it. I wondered what would happen if I alt-tabbed out. I'm going to sleep an hour. Might as well try to have my energy up if I've got to be scrambling at night. Could have read that while I was sitting here waiting, but it's got 1 hour left in it. Well, we're just about out of firewood.
Okay, I'm gonna go watch from the TV, so I won't be by the microphone.
Say that again.
I'm gonna go watch you on my TV instead of sitting in front of the monitor, so
Oh,
I
okay.
won't be close to the microphone.
All right. Well, you might be seeing a death here. We're getting down to the nitty gritty.
I hope not. Let's go.
Well, we may have a mad dash in the middle of a blizzard. Yeah, I could use some popcorn and soda right now. But it looks like I'm going to freeze to death. There's a very good chance I'm not going to be able to find my way in this storm. Like I said, there's a place called Skeeter's Ridge that I could find my way to, I'm pretty sure, even in the storm. But I can't sleep there. Should be warm, though. Is that the right choice, or can I find my way back to that cabin? thing about Skeetus Ridge is there's wolves around there. Now, the wolves tend not to be out in blizzards, but I was out in this storm. If I went to an indoor location when I came back out in a blizzard, the wolves would probably be gone. But they're probably still there since I am still outside. Well, until we start losing temp, I'm hanging right here. We'll start losing temp very quick. Oh, crap. I don't know why I'm not losing temp. There we go. Oh, I can't even see. Yeah, I can't see at all. Well, we find the bed. Well, we're only going to sleep like 6 hours, so whatever. Less than 6 hours. Okay, well, I don't know how I found that. I have no idea. Okay, we are going to lose the well-fed, but so be it. I should have given up on that quite some time ago. Let's pass a little bit of time. And of course, now the storm has stopped. Rawr. Down to 5 matches. I don't want to burn one just to find my way out of here. Oh, it's an Aurora. Yeah. We're not going out with that lingering. Wolves get crazy in the Aurora. Yeah, I can't see my way out of here. Whoop. What? What? All right. I'm going to grab these and take them with. Those would make me stink, so I'm going to leave them behind. I should have drank before I went out and started losing temp. It's 3 arrows down, so I've got a lot of water. We're going to drop a little bit here. We're not heavy because we lost all of our wood and shit, so not sure exactly what to do right now. We know where there's a deer, but I don't really have firewood. To harvest him. Um, This could get wolfy up this way, so I'm not really wild about this. Well, I think we just need to build some wood up. Why am I not eating the cattail heads? Because it's starvation mode. I can't keep eating. What I have to have, because as you see, my condition's starting to get low, and it's going to get lower and lower and lower before it gets better. I have to have food when I sleep to regain condition. So we're just, as far as that goes, we're just going to have to accept that one condition loss per hour from starving. Frostbite risk because I don't have anything on my head. Okay. So we could go back and get that deer yet today, but I need some I need firewood. So I need food and firewood. And there's not a lot of food to be found, though I have enough for at least one night, if not two right now. But yeah, we had a setback, that's for sure. Yeah, well, those are kind of two different things. I thought I put that away a while back. Okay, now I don't think we left any food here, but we could get some firewood. And we can get warmed up. Wait a second. I'd like to take that, but I don't want to take the condition loss doing it. But that is something I can break down by hand. Okay. Now I think we can do that. It's 2 hours for 4. Eesh. Hmm. Down in the basement, there's probably something that we can break down. hour for 4. A much better deal. Wish I could see. Well, looks like that's the only option I'm getting. Well, I need the wood. So that gives me 11. So that's 5.5 hours of fuel. It's not much. Okay, so what are my options? I could go back and try to get that deer, but that's not really helping a lot. I could try to go to the radio tower. We got derailed. I don't like any of my options because none of them are any good. So this is going to be a slog to get out of this mess. Just loot, and so oftentimes pretty decent loot. Now there's a deer over there, but I can't do anything with him. And there would probably be a little bit of food. And one thing is it's on the way toward leaving Pleasant Valley, which could be a good thing. But the thing about Pleasant Valley is it's pretty spread out compared to a lot of other zones. So there's just more travel between places. And I've hit most of the local spots already. So that leads me to going off in this direction to try to do something, or that direction. There's just not a really natural path. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get these 2 deer. But the problem is we don't have a lot of fire. And while I would expect the weather to hold long enough for us to get this one, getting the next one might be difficult. But Ooh, that's no good. But can I use a mag lens? Yes, I can, but I don't have a book. Get wood for free. How would I do that? I mean, I'm picking up every stick I can. I don't have any tools to break anything down. So there's a lot of stuff that's just not available. So yeah, you see limbs laying about. I don't have a hatchet. I can't break them down. They're the twigs that you can get 3 sticks from. But it's cold out here. The breakdown branches works, yes, but it's cold out here and it takes time. Okay, we are warming up, as long as I don't wander too far. See, I can't, there's a lot of free wood out there, but I can't do anything with it. And wandering away from that fire costs me health as soon as my temperature runs down. Now, what would be nice is if I can get up to that plane crash, get through it, and find a little bit of food and possibly some better clothing than what I have. And then move on from there. There's a couple of locations that I was wanting to go to anyway. But I'm just back to square one here, so we're starting with no resources. Well, I'd said how that previous playthrough was kind of cool because of how rough a start it was. Part of it because I was hitting all the wrong keys and stuff like that, and then I wasn't getting any breaks on finding tools and things that I needed. Well, this weather event sure set us back into kind of a similar spot. Um, so this might turn out to be interesting also. But one thing that I had on that one was I did find the heavy hammer rather early. And the heavy hammer is protection against wolves. It doesn't always work, but sometimes if you just bop them once, man, it's end of day. Oof, we're fucked. Um, I shouldn't have eaten that yet. Should have held off on that. 26 minutes till ready. Well, I can get the hide. I can't necessarily get the guts here. Okay, well, I just don't have firewood to be out. We'll take one gut. And then we got to head back home. Oh, I'm going the wrong. Yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Now we are carrying a little stink. If I hit the tab key, you'll see that there's 3 different lines of stink, and I've got one. If you hit tab and there's no lines, that doesn't mean you don't have any stink on you. It just means you don't have enough to qualify for one line. And I think that's like 33% or something like that. But meat is stinky. Raw meat is stinkier. Guts are stinky. Hides are not. Well, you know what? We should have probably gone back to that cabin rather than come all the way back here. Well, too late now. I'm going to stay down here. I'd like to go check and see if there's any bunnies, but we're pretty tired and I don't want to get to the spot where I can't run. Okay. I'd like to read that last hour. So that's 4 deer hide. I need 5 to make the gear. And let's see, I think, well, what is it exactly? Oh, you know what? I can make a improved head wrap or an improvised head wrap. I forgot about that. That's 4 guts and 2 hide. That's 4 guts and 3 hide, so I need 8 gut. But I'm almost where I can make a hat. A real hat. One day away, but let's see. I've got gut at the community hall, so I should go grab that. Okay. That may be what we do tomorrow. Oh. Hmm. Let's hope for some decent weather. It doesn't have to be great. It is possible I left a little food back there too. Oh, and you know what else? There would be some wood there. Okay. Now I need to pass a little time so it's light enough that I can see. I don't know if I can make this work. Wow. Okay. It's going to be a little bit cold. Looks like a good day where I can get up the road a little bit. Now, let's see. I'm going to take about a 90-second break here. Is there a workbench up there? I need to think about that. Okay. Let's see. Oh, crap. I'm going to leave the farmhouse just so I've got bearings when I come back in. Because I want to get to this cabinet, that cabinet there. Okay. Now that'll be fine. We can get what we need up at the community hall. It doesn't do much, but it covers the head, and that's where I was getting that frostbite risk from. Then I'm going to take that with me. I don't think there is a workbench where I'm going, but if there is, I'll be able to make the okay, we're good. We'll be able to make the rabbit hat if there's a workbench up there. I don't know that we have enough of these yet. So we did get to full health last night, so that's good. But we're going to lose some health going up the road here. No bunnies out. We've checked that car. Now, one thing to note is that you actually travel a little bit faster on a hard surface than you do on snow. So if we try to stay on pavement as much as possible, we'll go a little bit faster. And then any sprinting that I do, I want to be on pavement. Sounds like there's something dead over yonder. Crows are having a crow party. So if you've watched a lot of, well, much at all, Long Dark, one of the things you'll see is most people chain walk with torches. And they rarely, if ever, sprint. And I kind of do it the opposite way. kind of do a lot of sprinting, and I don't chain walk with torches. Torches give you like a 2-degree benefit, but they're mainly, people do it to cheese the wolves when, you know, when a wolf tries to attack them or something like that. But they'll carry 10, 12 torches and be overweight and traveling slower, and it just doesn't really seem to be a good trade-off. Plus, you got to fiddle with shit all the time. We're almost there. Now, I can't remember whether there's a workbench here. You need a workbench to do certain crafting things. And is this a workbench back here? No, it's not. Okay. I don't think there's one in the other building. So I've gone through all of this stuff around here. Okay. Now, no workbench here. But at any rate, all we need is a workbench, and then we can make that rabbit hat. Now, what all did we leave behind here? Ooh, we do have some food. Okay, I wouldn't mind taking a couple of those. I'm going to leave those sticks there. Oh, I want to tear this down. So we're going to look at that. Well, I like to leave a little bit of food behind, but we need it now. Okay. Now, the problem with taking these apart is it's going to take for freaking ever. An hour and 15 minutes, but I get 2 cured leather out of it. Let's do it. That'll warm us up. And then, hopefully, we can get a repair done on this. That brings us up to 69%. Oh, failed. The room won't get colder. In some circumstances, um, the room can get brighter at night, but it's not a big effect. Okay, how are we on? Yeah, we're going to take that water with us. I'm going to sleep an hour just because we did a lot of running. Okay, and you know what? Let's take these with too because we don't need them up here. So, okay. Now, ooh, beauty day. So everything around here has been searched. So there's nothing really to, now on this other side of this bridge, that's not the case. Because there was a wolfie that was hanging out here. And I do want to look around a little bit. A wolf encounter here probably kills me. But I was watching somebody play who said that hacksaw can be here somewhere. And I could really stand to find a hacksaw, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Yeah, I don't see anything around here. We can't get into this, it's boarded up, and we can't get into that one, it's boarded up. See how there's boards over stuff? Okay. Well, that was a bummer. I would have loved to found something there. I think I'm going to sleep one more hour. We're almost half tired. And I want to do a fair amount of running down. We don't have to go all the way back to the house, though. There was a barn that I didn't really show or make it obvious that it was there that we passed, and there is a workbench there. Now, I don't know which place we'll go to, but so one of the things that I guess you just saw evidence that I do is when I search a place, I pick everything up and I put it in it stuff that I'm not going to bring with me. I put in basically one storage spot. So you'll see a lot of people that drop stuff all over the floor or not pick things up that they don't want right then and there. Um, and what that ends up doing is if you come back like we just did and need something, well, you don't have any idea where it is. And we could just easily go fetch it. Yeah, I think I will stop at the barn here to make that hat. It's like 3.5 hours and we've got that kind of daylight. Funny over there. Those are flyover crows. Now we've been here, but let's check and make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, 51. I didn't see what that said. I don't remember if I checked these or not. I probably did. Can things spawn in buildings or it's once you took all in a place, it won't have anything else? Yeah. Um, there are things don't respawn. I can't think of there's well sticks out in the world respawn. Coal in caves can respawn. Uh, tree limbs can respawn, but that's pretty much the idea. That's it. Oh, oh, the workbench is up here. Okay, we're up to 12 and 12 warmth, 4 windproof. That's not terrible for this early. Now let's see, what time of day do we have? You can sleep in vehicles. So though I don't have a bedroll and there's no bed here, I can sleep in that vehicle. And I think I'm going to, but first, we're gonna take this bunny apart. I saw something about a hacksaw, but I couldn't catch that. I'm gonna actually move this over here. So that said, it needed a hacksaw to break down. I'm not sure what that said, what that was. Is there always at least one hacksaw in every game, and you just have to find it, or can it be so random that it might not at all be in the world? Um, there are multiple uh, hacksaws in the world. Now, on the lower levels, there's going to be a lot of them. On the higher levels, there's not going to be many of them. So they're going to be hard to find. Uh, and I say that, and you could stumble on one um, on in the first hour in the game. Um, wow. Um, but yeah, they're not common, but there will be probably on Interloper. There's probably going to be 4 or 5 hacksaws in the game. Oh, wrong thing. We're about out of water, so we're going to need to do something about that. And we're going to go back to the farmhouse to do something about that. Now we know that there was a dog out here. Oof. The soup. And we are carrying a little bit of stink. So loot is a way they do loot in this game, particularly the more valuable pieces of loot there's essentially loot tables, and when your game starts, you're on a particular loot table. Um, and some people have them figured out, and if I went online, I could probably um, find a current loot table, and I don't have I haven't found enough stuff yet that I could tell which loot table I was on. But it's like, let's say you find a hacksaw in the barn there. Well, that's a pretty good clue. It wouldn't necessarily tell you where everything is in the game, but that's a pretty good clue. And by the time you find maybe a couple of things that are on those loot tables, then you would be able to figure out where everything was. As you can imagine, that's not the most interesting way to play. It's kind of like cheating, but you know, it's a solo game. Do whatever you want. But you know, if it's if it's just too easy, well, it's just too easy. Tough shot. Oh, you're making it easier. Thank you. Appreciate your support. Okay, so we got 2 lines of stink. Let's not, because it's so foggy, I can't tell if there's wolves over in that field. As far as I know, there are never wolves in this field that we're in. There didn't used to be, but that could be different now. Ah, I hear a deer over there. So we are at a spot where we have basically no tools yet, and we need them. Okay. Do I have enough wood yet? Nah. Yeah. I don't have a torch, do I? No, I do not. I should have another one of those in here. There's 3, maybe 4 of these 6-burner cookers in the game, and they are awesome. All right. Okay. Okay. Hey, lady, we're just surviving out here. Ain't no room for that cleanliness shit. We're just trying to survive. And meat lasts longer outside. So that's why we put that out there. That cup of water undoubtedly boiled off. Redo that and it should be fine. Yep, I'm burning my throat. I'm going to do this again. And we may not get back to this one in time, but so be it. Now I need basically 2 hours of fire. Oof. It's going to take basically all we have. Okay. Okay, so we have two hides. Which do we want first? We will have three hides soon. Um, those need to go on the ground. And now we have what we need to make the rabbit mittens. So do I want boots first or pants? I think pants because our pants absolutely suck. And those aren't horrid. So as soon as this gets to 100%, which will be a few hours, we can start working on making pants. And that is going to take 12 hours, 12 and a half hours. So it's a bit of an ordeal. But this is pretty early to be having deer clothes. I need one more deer hide in order to make the boots then after that. It feels like we need to go find some food though, because we're going to be out of food real quick. So that water on the stove is going to be, it's going to be fine. I've set it up to where it's not going to boil off. The fire's going to go out soon after that water is boiled. Okay, we're not losing temperature. That's nice. There's a barn over here I want to check. I could hear crows, so that means there's something dead over there. There's a deer. Now, wolves can come around here, and I'm going to take that deer without a fire. So this is kind of like questionable. Buddy, what you got? Oh, ooh, nice. Crackers are kind of like a golden food. It's one of the few things that does not deteriorate. So their condition never goes bad. Okay, what we need most from this guy is his hide. Oh, I can't do it without cooking him up. Ugh. Because we're not getting cold, I was thinking that I could now, by just clicking on him, did I start his timer? I don't know. Because I couldn't engage. Maybe I didn't. Do we have enough fuel? Man, it's marginal. Well, we might lose him because I clicked on him, but I don't want to be back to 0 wood again. It's just too hard to build it back up. Now, once we have some tools, it gets a lot easier. Alrighty, well, what time is it? What time do you have? Because I'm thinking I might do something about dinner. Yeah, it's time for me to do something about dinner. So I'm going to head back to the farmhouse, and then I'm going to get out of the game. I will probably play again later. This is proving to be a bit of an interesting start. It didn't seem like it at the beginning. Because at the very beginning, things were coming pretty easy. But then we had a little little blizzard, and then we have had, kind of because of that, we've been stuck in the mud, not being able to move around and hit new areas where we're likely to get new new loot. But what we are getting though is some good gear buildup, which is going to make life easier later on.
Oh boy. Okay, there's no easy wood for me to get. Oh, you're still burning. Not by much. Let's get this rabbit cooked up. Trouble is, it takes forever to harvest. Yeah, we got that much fire. Oh, now I could be, yeah. I boiled my water away, or did I take it already? Because I added, yeah, I added to the fire, so oh well. I don't think I grabbed it. No, I didn't. And 44 minutes. I had timed that so nicely, and then I screwed it up. So, we should need about an hour and 25 then. Yeah, we need to do something about this wood problem. Well, this gives me time to do one of these guys. Let's see, we got 2 hours of daylight left. That fire's about to go out. And that guy is harvested. Now, it may be so dark we can't find our way upstairs. Yep. Okay, well, I don't really need that water right now, but I do need to get out the door. So I'm going to have to burn a match. Well, I do want to use that meat. Oh, okay. That works. No, I've got to leave safe house. I'm taking in way more calories than I needed, so it's kind of a waste, but okay, we'll get that in the morning. We'll sleep about 1 hour. Do I still have that book on me? I do. We're going to research that, which will make things light. Cooking 2. I think that gives us like 10% more calories. Yeah. We're almost to carcass 3. Okay. Well, I'm going to step out and back in. Just to save. And then we're going to quit the game. And then we're going to quit the stream. Stop streaming.